fun. All right, so let's do.
That is not fun.
Even, honestly, this is. I can't even believe I called this fun. This is fun for me.
This is I have a sick sense of humor too. Try me. Like,
but what's great about this is you can eventually turn this around and make it fun for you too by testing me in the same way, because we're gonna fail every time and it's gonna be awesome.
Oh man, I didn't know there was gonna be a test.
Oh, there's a test.
I didn't know are we gonna be fact checked?
It's a one question test, and you are so getting fact checked.
Oh god damn it!
Yeah,
no, I didn't sign up for that.
I'm gonna give you, it's a 2 portions of a very long speech.
Okay.
And I just want you to guess who gave the speech. Is it going to be
like a Stalin or Donald Trump kind of thing?
No, it's not. Though that we should play that at some point. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I think for the game, generally, the rule is going to be it can be like from a document, a speech, a letter, whatever. Right. It can even be like a broader historical document, like some sort of like treaty, or you could quote something like the Declaration of Independence, for example.
Fabulous.
Something like that, right? So for in this case, though, like I said, it's going to be a speech. I'll give you that little bit of a
okay.
I'll also say this is probably a relatively well-known speech, but I think that even when they hear it, a lot of people would not immediately place who this was. So,
oh, goodness.
All right.
Excuse me.
Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. And later, the peace we seek, rounded upon decent trust and cooperative effort among nations, can be fortified not by weapons of war, but by wheat and by cotton, by milk and by wool, by meat and by timber and by rice. These are words that translate into every language on earth. These are needs that challenge this world in arms. This idea of a just and peaceful world is not new or strange to us. It inspired the people of the United States to initiate the European Recovery Program in 1947. That program was prepared to treat, with like and equal concern, the needs of Eastern and Western Europe. We are prepared to reaffirm, with the most concrete evidence, our readiness to help build a world in which all peoples can be productive and prosperous. This government is ready to ask its people to join with all nations in devoting a substantial percentage of the savings achieved by disarmament to a fund for world aid and reconstruction. The purposes of this great work would be to help other peoples to develop the undeveloped areas of the world, to stimulate profitable and fair world trade, to assist all peoples to know the blessings of productive freedom. The monuments of this new kind of war would be these: roads and schools, hospitals and homes, food and health. We are ready, in short, to dedicate our strength to serving the needs rather than the fears of the world. We are ready by these and all such actions to make of the United Nations an institution that can effectively guard the peace and security of all peoples. I know of nothing I can add to make plainer the sincere purpose of the United States. I know of no course other than that marked by these and similar actions that can be called the highway of peace.
Oh, God damn it. I knew so much of that as you were reading it. And I'm going to feel like an idiot, but like, oh.
It's tough. I give you.
I kind of want to see it on the written page. Honestly, I feel like reading it and digesting it as the spoken word away from its original voice is kind of discombobulating.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I don't know, and I legitimately
don't. No, I have heard this speech. I fucking know it as soon as. What's the opening? Can you hit me with the first paragraph? What's the most? I guess high key moments.
You want me to hit you with that first quote again?
Hit me with the opening, from the very beginning.
The first part, and this is from.
That was kind of a lot. Like by the time we got to the end, it was like I was racking my brain, but not cataloging.
I'll say this: the speech itself is super long, so I'm taking one very small and one relatively small excerpt from an extremely long speech.
Gotcha.
And if I read the whole thing, we'd be here forever. And it
would ain't nobody got time for that.
But this one quote is, I think, more well known. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, and the hopes of its children.
Man, I thought it was Jimmy Carter the first time you read through it. It reminded me of something, but I don't believe that to be the case now. But I'm going to kick the fuck out of myself.
You want me to give you a hint? This is an avowed anti-communist.
Give me an avowed anti-communist, yeah.
An avowed anti-communist.
Well, and my second inclination was Eisenhower. Thank you.
There you go.
I knew it.
There you go.
For some reason, like, part of it, until it got to the parts where it got really fawning about profit, I was like, wait, no, that's not Carter. But there was a similarity to it. There's something aspirational to both of those. Like, compare that to Jimmy Carter's Law Day speech, which was one of his earliest public speaking moments. Hunter Thompson fucking attended it. And it really is legendarily one of the best speeches of all time. It's fantastic in content and delivery. All right, so I get like half credit for that at least, right?
No, I'd say you get full credit. That's like you didn't really need much.
I absolutely knew it. Like that first paragraph is pretty well known. I almost feel like.
Yeah. By the way, this speech was given just after the death of Joseph Stalin. So
okay,
and Eisenhower.
Yeah, I knew it was fucking.
Eisenhower had been president for like 3 months at this point. I think it was in April of his first year.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how it's so much about agriculture and social welfare.
It makes sense at the time, though. That almost feels like insanely leftist in a lot of ways, but that's. And it fucking is by today's standards, which is fucking goddamned insane.
Yeah. This is
Nixon would be a fucking dirty commie right now. Like,
I mean,
Saint Reagan would be a dirty commie for some of the shit.
Eisenhower would be one of these mini Mamdanis that Mike Johnson keeps talking
We'd
about.
have a fucking UBI by now if that guy like had gotten things to turn in that direction, I should say. Like,
well, Eisenhower.
I mean, there's a through line from him to from Eisenhower to him for sure, or Roosevelt. Goodness, sorry, FDR. Like that's a straight line almost from Roosevelt to that in a way.
Absolutely there is. There is not only in this kind of ideology, because Eisenhower does expand the social safety net. He creates. Let's see, it was the.
Taxation rate of the top percentages
he maintains
insanely higher than it is now.
He maintains taxes at a high rate to pay down the deficit, and he maintains them at like it's like 91% at the top marginal rate.
Yeah,
and
it's still fucking like kicked the hell out of the 50s and 60s economy, and like largely built the wealth of this nation in the modern era.
Absolutely, because he spent it on. Again, the things that he was talking about, there was a lot of interest in spending this money on roads, schools, hospitals, homes, food, and health. Like, you wonder why, like Texas, for example, got to be where they are in education. It's not because they pulled themselves up without the help of federal taxation. They
used to be really good. Like, there's a reason the textbook industry had such a stronghold in Texas. Texas was one of the higher states in education during, like, coincidentally, Ann Richardson's tenure for sure.
Well, that's just it. Like, there's a federal flow of assistance and intention that percolates through the states and comes up with good ideas out of this marketplace of ideas from the states. But it needs that federal control and direction. Like, it's kind of that's kind of the point I think that Eisenhower is sort of making here. It's like the states, are going to do their thing. We're looking at individuality and people like fulfilling, like having a life that's worth living, basically, and doing that through the assistance of the government in
absolutely. It's in everybody's best interest if all these different parts are stable. Like it's very much just built on the rising tide lifts all ships mentality. It's not fucking stealing wealth from the top. It's recognizing that you have to maintain a certain floor at least for the whole thing to work right.
Yeah, exactly. It's an actual like it's an attempt to actually apply that principle at the very least. Now, not always evenly.
I mean, not perfectly, sure, but the spirit's there. It also was the goddamn 50s, and we just won World War II, basically, and are swinging dick all over the planet. So, yeah, why not? Let's spend some of that at home and make ourselves even stronger.
Well, that makes perfect sense. There's a lot of contradiction in what he says here, talking about using the money we save from disarmament, spending it at home, while at the same time we're also injecting ourselves into Korea.
Yeah, I mean, it's
into other conflicts.
There's certainly a fuckload of hypocrisy to it, but fucking when haven't we been at war outside of, honestly, the modern era? People forget how peaceful the current era of time is, even though, there are certain military actions, yada, yada. Like, the arc has been bending in a generally more peaceful direction.
Right.
Globally, honestly. Like, having a unipolar force almost is kind of an odd force limiter for the whole system. I heard a really interesting deep dive into that on NPR a while back, and it lays out a pretty interesting argument about having essentially one unchecked world power acting in a slightly magnanimous kind of way is oddly a stabilizing force worldwide. Granted, it's not perfect, but statistically, even globally, there's less warfare now than at most points throughout history.
Yeah, I mean, listen, benevolent dictatorships always sound great until you have the conversation of succession.
Yeah, and don't take that as an advocacy of that. That
absolutely
whatever word.
Yeah, there's a certain potential for a somewhat stabilizing force in some areas, but then you have
it's like communism. It works on paper, but that doesn't end up working. It only works as far as human good intentions. So, like, that's going to flip the coin the wrong way sooner or later.
I mean, that's what we're battling against the whole way. I mean, you can look at Eisenhower's this speech and the effects of his administration as an example of that. Expanding the social safety net. Yeah, so he expanded Social Security. He established the Department of Health and Human Services, or at least the proto version of that, nice. That it would transform into the Department of Health and Human Services. He established NASA. Like, he signed NASA in.
Shit.
58. So, so he's responsible for a lot of, social,
a lot of huge shit. Like,
but
also the shit that's stimulated a ton of growth in capitalism too. Like, NASA's the foundation for so much technology that brought us to where we are, that created so much more capitalism. Like, it's just money making more money.
I can't imagine that at all was the thought at the time, to be totally honest with you. But you're absolutely correct that it did end up doing that. Like, there's no question. Like, I can't.
There's so many technologies that have been born of that have made astronomical amounts of money over the long run. But, like, that technology just kind of filters its way out into our greater society as it's fucking meant to do, like, or
right.
is want to do anyway.
But hey, I wanted to also bring up a couple other quotes.
Yeah.
These are much shorter. I wanted to quote two other Republicans.
Please.
And tie it into this. I'm going to give this is like we're going to do like kind of a second round of who said that. This not for this first quote. This first quote, I'll give you who it was. It's Louis Larson, who was, again, he's a Secretary of Labor under Eisenhower, Director of Information Agency under Eisenhower, and Executive Assistant for Speeches. So he worked for like 6 years under Eisenhower.
Okay.
The underlying philosophy of the new republicanism is that if a job has to be done to meet the needs of the people and no one else can do it, then it is the proper function of the federal government.
That downright makes sense.
It kind of like an unquestionable, a seemingly obvious sort of statement. Like,
no shit, Sherlock. Yeah.
But here's in light of that and this long, quote from Eisenhower, I wanted you to maybe do a little bonus round guess of who this quote comes from.
Okay. So is this a head of state or just?
Yeah, I will tell you this. This is a former Republican president.
Former Republican president. Oh.
The legitimate object of government is to do for a community of people whatever they need to have done, but cannot do at all or cannot so well do for themselves in their separate and individual capacities. In all that the people can individually do as well for themselves, government ought not to interfere. The desirable things which the individuals of a people cannot do or cannot well do for themselves fall into two classes: those which have a relation to wrongs and those which have not. Each of these branch off in an infinite variety of subdivisions. The first, that in relation to wrongs, embraces all crimes, misdemeanors, and non-performance of contracts. The other embraces all which in its nature and without wrong requires combined action, as public roads and highways, public schools, charities, pauperism, orphanage, estates of the deceased, and the machinery of government itself. From this it appears that if all men were just, there still would be some, though not much, need of government.
Oh, fork. Believe it or not, I almost heard some Bush Senior to that. Like,
it's a
with
little
the right speechwriter. He had some surprisingly good moments.
I'll say this though: the verbiage sounds a bit older than that.
It does. That's what I was trying. I was trying to get the time period down more than anything, and other than Eisenhower, like, because it feels like it's of that time, but like that's a limited cast you have to choose from there.
I'll tell you this: it's before 1900.
Okay. Well, that narrows things down a little bit. It's, man, I got wrapped up in the language, and I kind of got lost track of losing the time period a little bit too, or finding the time period, I should say.
This man was known for fighting people in public.
Andrew Jackson?
No. I'll just go ahead and give you the answer. That was Lincoln.
What?
That was Lincoln. Being echoed 100 years later for new republicanism by Eisenhower. And then,
well, there's a connection. Shit.
The complete purchase of both political parties by big business basically destroys the Republican Party in the Eisenhower sense. Any of this expanding the social welfare state, any of that, this is pretty much where it goes to die.